First of all, I'd like to thank the Lord for my testimony, because it's His story through me. I want to thank, of course, Pastor Ms. Latrice, for the opportunity. And I want to thank Corey and a friend of mine, Corey for videoing it, and a friend of mine actually is the inspiration for this. Her name is Stephanie Loomis. I know y'all don't know her. I went to school with her, Vivian, in North Caddo, but she wrote hers, and she's the inspiration why I wrote this. So, Stephanie, when you see this, thank you. I've always been different as far back as I can remember. As much as it pains to say this, I was bullied in grade school. At age 5, I think it was, I was diagnosed with ADD, or attention deficit disorder. I took Ritalin for it, which worked for a while. When I was 6 years old, the lady that took care of me when I was a baby passed away. I really don't remember it that well anyway. At age 7, I became a Christian. You may say that's young to be saved, but I knew what the Lord was doing for me, and I'm thankful that He did that for me all those years ago on Calvary's cross. The first death that I really remember was when I was about 10. Granny Bryan, Ronnie and Teresa. She was my sister's and my babysitter for years. She really wasn't my grandmother, but I was related to her almost related to her because 2 of her sons married my dad's 2 sisters, Uncle Doug and Uncle Randy. I called one of her sons and daughters-in-law my uncle and aunt because of that to this day. You too. And of course, Renee, I love you too. So, and the fact that I grew up with Jamie, Aubrey, and RJ, and Dana and Devin. I call Aubrey and Jamie my almost sisters or almost cousins because of, or depends on whatever I'm feeling at that moment because of our proximity in age. When I was 11 rather, I witnessed something that scarred me, really at the time scarred me. To this day, I very rarely talk about it. So if you hear me talk about it, feel privileged. I saw a young man drown after only talking to him minutes before. For the first time I really remember, I cried myself to sleep. To cope with it, I go to the cemetery on his birthday to wish him happy birthday and on the anniversary of the accident. I don't recall how old I was when the doctors re-diagnosed me with that attention deficit hyperactive disorder, or ADHD. I probably took everything under the sun to keep it under control. In the summer of '97, a second lady who took care of me when I was a baby passed away from cancer. I was in Mobile, Alabama at the time on a mission trip when I heard the news. I remember crying myself to sleep that night as well. When I was in 8th grade, or 13 years old, my Papa Hutch died from cancer. Also, when I was in 8th grade, I did something that I'm rather proud of still to this day. I played the lead in a musical in my youth choir at the church I was attending at the time called The Ride. I'm proud of it because I had to learn my part, plus everyone else's, because I had to play off of them. I'll tell you about my high school life real quick because I don't want to bore you that much. My sophomore year in high school, someone threatened to kill me, which I don't think about nowadays because Lord knows where the gentleman is or what he's doing. To quote Forrest Gump, that's all I have to say about that. My junior year, I started dating this girl. Well, I first started noticing girls my freshman year, whom I dated off and on that year and part of my senior year. We finally broke up for good when she accused me of something that I did not do. In June of 2001, when I was almost 17, my Papa Tippett passed away. The last thing I really remember him telling me is that he wanted me to go on my mission trip to Florida, which I had earned. They buried him the day I left, But I couldn't help it, but my heart was back in Blanchard, all the way down to Florida, with my family. My senior year was the year that 9/11 occurred. Of course, that was 2001. And late in April of 2002, I got something that I was shocked to receive and was able to graduate from North Caddo with honors because of it. I was inducted into their chapter of the National Honor Society as a senior member and got accepted into Bossier Parish Community College. In August 2002, right as I was about to start BIPSI, the last of the three ladies who took care of me when I was a baby passed away. I remember the last thing she told me, and her daughter, Mary Hunt, told me at the time, and she still tells me, if her mother didn't say this, she didn't mean it. Her mother said, "I love you and I'm proud of you." I graduated from BIPSI in May of 2006 with an associate's degree with a concentration in telecommunications, production, and broadcasting. In June of 2007, I started something to this day that I love and enjoy doing every summer. I go to church camp for the teenagers and clean the dishes. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. That, I believe, is one of my spiritual gifts, serving others, and according to my Bible study leader the other night, encouraging others. In March of 2011, the week of Redbud, as a matter of fact, my Uncle Andy passed away. Yet another blow to me. My aunt paid me a high honor, though. She made me a pallbearer for him, saying that my uncle asked for me. In December of that year, the week before Christmas actually, a longtime friend passed away in her sleep. It was about this time that I got re-diagnosed with Asperger's. For those who don't know, Asperger's is a high form of autism. I cannot work in the public because of it, but it is what it is. I have my degree, and nobody can take it from me. That leads us into August 2013. I started doing something else that I enjoy doing. I'm a volunteer with the Redbud Association. I do anything and everything that is required of me. Last year, I was the co-chair of the photo contest, and this year, I was the chair of the photo contest. About 2 years ago, I got involved in this Bible study group called Ignite, which meets on Sunday nights, and I absolutely love going to it. The story of how I got involved in it is a story for another time. In October of 2016, I spoke to the group, which got me out of my comfort zone, which I needed. Well, in conclusion, that's Adam Hutchison in a nutshell. Hope you enjoyed listening as I enjoyed writing.